Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, hello, you're welcome. Please don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell as well. Thank you so much. So in my last update about This Is Fate, Mahira was finally thrown out of the Lutra house by all the Lutras, and Sherlyn was happy that at least Mahira is out, and Prithvi became the good son to the Lutra family by exposing Mahira, and Prithvi and Krithika's marriage was fixed. That was our last update. Let's continue from there. It is already Krithika and Prithvi's marriage day. Grandma advised the workers to decorate the house like it has never been decorated before, and Grandma sees Krithika and asks that why is she sad when it is her wedding day. Krithika says that it is her wedding day, but why has Mahesh and Raki not come? Grandma consoles Krithika, saying that Mahesh and Raki will surely come. Karina enters with Raki and Mahesh, and Krithika immediately goes to hug them, saying that she is really happy that they came. Grandma says that Krithika loves them both than her real mother, and this sort of love is really rare, and Karina replies that she sometimes feels that Krithika is not her daughter. Pritha asks everyone to come, and Krithika sits at the wedding altar beside Mahesh. Pritha asks Krithika to close her eyes because the bride cannot see the cloth before the wedding. Rishabh replies that he doesn't trust Krithika, and Krithika would open her eyes, and Rishabh therefore covers Kritika's eyes with his hand. Pritha helps Raki and Mahesh to fulfill the rituals, and after it is finished, Rishabh lifted his hand, and Krithika says that she feels now that she is getting married. Karina asks if it is because Krithika has performed the rasam, but Krithika replies that it is because Mahesh performed the ritual, and Krithika asks Mahesh. Rishabh asks Krithika not to get so emotional because she has not even left the house, so she should save her tears. Prithvi was in the room wearing the wedding clothes, and Prithvi says to himself that today he will get married to Krithika, who is the key to the wealth of the Lutra house, and he will never be suspected again because the entire Lutra family thinks that he has saved the elder daughter-in-law of the family, and he would always be treated with respect, and he will now be able to fulfill his desires, and he will take the revenge from the Lutras. Prithvi gets a text from an unknown number which says that Prithvi should not celebrate the end before it has already started because she would come back, and Prithvi thinks that it is Mahira, and he replies the message and says that he is not afraid of her threats and she can do whatever she wants, and he wants her to get lost forever. Shrishti, on the other end, thinks that she was right because Prithvi in anger did not even care to see who has tested him, and Shrishti thinks that she was right, and now she will make sure that Prithvi doesn't get married to Krithika, and she doesn't even have the help of Pritha, and under the situation it is right, but she will not let Prithvi get married to Krithika, and today's night will be the last night of Prithvi in the Lutra house, and she would have Prithvi thrown out of the house soon. In the night, Karina and Grandma were welcoming the guests, and Sherlyn, while standing upstairs, thinks that she is feeling wrong, so something might happen, and she thinks that who might it be when Mahira is not even in the house, and later, Sherlyn thinks that it is only Shrishti who can end the marriage. Shrishti greets Grandma, and Grandma asks that why the Shrishti came alone. Shrishti explains that Sala and Janki were not ready, so she came to enjoy at the wedding before them. And Shrishti goes to greet Pritha, and Pritha says that she is glad that Shrishti has arrived, and now Shrishti can help her. Shrishti says that she is a guest, but Pritha sends Shrishti to look after the preparations in the kitchen. Sherlyn, standing upstairs, thinks that she feels that by looking at both Pritha and Shrishti, she thinks that the two of them has given up on their matter, and that is why they are working with such intensity. Rishabh comes to Sherlyn asking that what is Sherlyn thinking standing alone, and Sherlyn replies that she is just looking at the wedding preparations. Rishabh says that Sherlyn should look at the wedding later because nothing important is happening right now, and Sherlyn must rest. Sherlyn wonders why does Rishabh try to be so sweet, because she hates those who try to be her enemy, but she is always suspicious of those who are so nice to her. Rishabh walks downstairs and he greets the guest, and Shrishti walks to Rishabh and greets him, and Shrishti says that Rishabh is the only one in the house that whenever she sees him, then she gets a smile on her face, and Shrishti says that she loves Rishabh. Rishabh asks Shrishti to stop and never say anything of sort to anyone else because they might try to stalk her. Shrishti asks that what was so wrong, and Rishabh replies that he has a certain image that he is always strict with, and which is why he sometimes, in order to get the work done, so he sometimes acts, and Karina gets mad after seeing Shrishti smiling with Rishabh. Shrishti asked Rishabh to send his employees to her because she would inform them that there's no need to be afraid of Rishabh and that Rishabh is like a coconut and he is hard from the outside but he is loving and soft from the inside. And Rishabh says that means that Shrishti would have to come and finish his office work. Karina, seeing Rishabh and Shrishti, asks Grandma to take her leave, and Karina goes to Rishabh and asks Rishabh to go and see if Karan is ready because Karan has still not come downstairs. Shrishti also tries to leave, but Karina asks Shrishti to stay away from her son. Shrishti asks that what is Karina trying to say, and Karina replies that Rishabh has just recently lost his child, so he is emotionally broken and he gets attracted with anyone who is polite with him. Karina says that there is no need for Shrishti to emotionally support Rishabh, and if Shrishti tries, then Karina, will make it certain that Shrishti is barred from entering the Luthra house. Shrishti asks that why does Karina always think that they are always trying to take advantage of anyone, and Karina wants Shrishti to think of what she has just said. Shrishti was walking and she sees Pritha talking with the guest, and Shrishti remembered when Pritha said that she will no longer help her in exposing Prithvi, and Shrishti says to herself that she doesn't need Pritha's help because she has found someone else. Raki and Grandma were standing and Sanjana comes along with Prithvi's mother, and Karina asks Sanjana and Sanjana asks about Sherlyn. Grandma asks Sanjana to go and see Sherlyn because she is in her room, and Sanjana leaves, and then Prithvi's mother also asks about Prithvi, and Prithvi's mother was also sent to the guest room to meet Prithvi. Prithvi was in the guest room and he was eating bananas, and he was wondering when anyone would come to bring him, telling him that it is time for the auspicious occasion. Sherlyn enters the room, and Prithvi asks that what has happened because Sherlyn should be happy that he is getting married. Sherlyn replies that she has a feeling that something wrong might happen, but Prithvi was adamant that nothing wrong can happen to them. But Sherlyn advised Prithvi not to be so overconfident because this is what exactly Mahira thought, and Mahira was later thrown out of the Luthra house, and there is time for everything, and now she feels that their time to be thrown out of the house has also come. Prithvi asks that why does Sherlyn forgot who wanted Mahira to get thrown out of the Luthra mansion, and Mahira was only thrown out of the house after she hurt Sherlyn, and Prithvi then asks Sherlyn that who does she think that can go against them, and Sherlyn remembers Shrishti, and Prithvi says that Shrishti only talks big but she is not able to do anything. Prithvi replies that neither Pritha nor Shrishti can do anything about them, but there's only two people who can harm the entire Luthra family, and that is him and Sherlyn. And Prithvi blames Sherlyn for not thinking straight when she is angry, and she was trying to kill Pritha, and if she had, then she would have died, and he would have also died with her. Prithvi and Sherlyn both hears that Sherlyn's mother was fighting with Prithvi's mother, and Prithvi says to Sherlyn that he now knows that Sherlyn is just like her mother, and they both rushed and asked their mothers to be calm because it might create a lot of problems for them. Prithvi's mother says a lot of bad things to Sherlyn, and this angers Sherlyn, and Prithvi's mother says that it will be a blessing when her son gets married to Krithika and her son will be away from Sherlyn, and Sherlyn threatens Prithvi's mother not to let the marriage happen, and Sherlyn was about to leave. Prithvi stops Sherlyn from going out, and Prithvi says that Sherlyn is a cheater because Sherlyn first advised the family members to get him married to Krithika, and now Sherlyn is creating problems for him. Sherlyn then orders Prithvi to ask his mother to apologize to her, otherwise she will reveal the entire truth to the family, and Prithvi tries to convince his mother to apologize to Sherlyn, but Prithvi's mother doesn't listen to Prithvi. Sherlyn shouted, saying that she will walk out of the room, and Karina, hearing the voices, thinks that who might be fighting, and Karina enters the room and asks that what is happening, and Sherlyn tries to leave the room, and Karina asks that what is happening, and all of them look towards each other and they were worried. Sherlyn says to Karina that she feels that Karina should not get Prithvi married to Krithika, and Prithvi's mother apologized to Sherlyn, saying that she has forgiven her. Sherlyn replies that she did not know that Prithvi's mother could apologize, and Karina was confused, and she says that she cannot even understand what is happening. Prithvi says to Karina that he would explain, and what happened is that Sherlyn is really very odd, and so she wanted some sympathy from his mother, and his mother did not want to show it, but now his mother has apologized, and everything is sorted out. Sanjana also says that whatever happened is in the past, and now everything is fine. Karina says to Prithvi's mother that she knows Sherlyn very well, and she is happy that she has forgiven Sherlyn, and Prithvi lives with Karina and Sherlyn. Sanjana stops Prithvi's mother, saying that Prithvi's mother just teased Sherlyn now, and Sherlyn forced her to apologize in front of everyone. So if Prithvi's mother tries anything of this again, then Sherlyn will not forgive her. Pritha gives the wedding things to the priest, asking if there is something else that the priest needs, and the priest explains that the vermilion is missing, and Pritha goes to bring it. Grandma looks at Pritha and Grandma was smiling. Karina asks that what happened and why is Grandma smiling. Grandma replies that Karan and Pritha has promised Raki that they will give the Lutra house an heir, and Karina was also excited. Rishabh was standing and Karan comes downstairs, and Rishabh asks that where was Karan because everyone had been asking about Karan. Karan says that he is famous, so it takes time for him to get ready, and besides, his wife was not there to help him. Rishabh says that now Karan needs Pritha's help, and Rishabh asks Karan to remember the time when Karan came and said that Pritha has snatched his wardrobe. Karan asks Rishabh not to tease him, and Rishabh replies that it is his right. Karan sees Pritha, and Karan says that Pritha will now fall because she is walking really fast. Rishabh asks Karan not to worry, and just then, Pritha tips because of some children and she was about to fall, and Karan seeing this rushed to Pritha to save her without even listening to Rishabh. Grandma stops Rishabh, asking that why is Rishabh interfering in Karan and Pritha, and Rishabh was confused. And Grandma asks Rishabh to see that Pritha and Karan are both together and Karan is smiling. Pritha sees that Grandma was watching them, and Pritha tries to get up, but Karan doesn't let Pritha get up, and Karan places the garland on Pritha, and Pritha stands up and they look into each other's eyes. Grandma says to Rishabh that Karan and Pritha are having romance, and Pritha asks that since when has Grandma started talking like this, and Grandma takes Rishabh away without listening to anything. Karan says that he knew that Pritha would fall, and Pritha says that she also knew that Karan would come to save her, and Pritha tries to remove the garland, but Karan stops her, and then Pritha rushes to the priest and she gives the priest one of the garland. Karan says that he has the second garland that Pritha makes him wear, and Pritha stops Karan and then gives the garland to the priest, and Pritha asks Karan to come with her. Pritha says to Karan that Mahesh and Raki came to the function, but she saw that they were both really sad, and she needs Karan to go and try to convince them to be happy, because Karan is their son. Karan says that Pritha should have just said that, and why is Pritha so serious? Shrishti in the room asks Samiru if he really loves Krithika, then why is he allowing the marriage to happen? And Shrishti asks Samiru to help her stop the marriage. Samiru replies that he cannot help Shrishti because this would mean going against the entire family, which he cannot do. Shrishti asks Samiru if he forgot who the real danger of the family is, and both of the dangers are still roaming in the house. Samiru asks if Shrishti remembers how Kritika's first marriage ended, and Pritha even had the proof, but no one was ready to believe her, and the wedding only ended because Akshay refused, and he cannot let anything like this happen again, so he will not help Shrishti. But Shrishti shouted at Samiru, ordering him to stop. Samiru talks to Shrishti, asking her what the matter is, because he is standing right beside her. Shrishti asks if Samiru has left, and Samiru says that he was with Shrishti, and Shrishti explains that they have to use some other means to get what they want. Rishabh and Karan got to the room and they see both Mahesh and Raki sad. Both Rishabh and Karan try to cheer them up, asking them to be part of the wedding because it is a moment of joy, and if they did not accept, then how would they have fun? Mahesh says that he doesn't feel like coming, and they can call them when it is time to give blessings to the couple. Rishabh says that he is still young, and Krithika entering the room asks if Mahesh and Raki will also not come for her sake. Samiru asks that what is wrong with Shrishti and what is Shrishti talking about because he is not understanding. Shrishti replies that she was trying to take out ghee, but it came out when she twisted her finger. Samiru asks that why is it hurting Shrishti, and Shrishti replies that it is in her stomach, and Shrishti asks Samiru to take her to the hospital where Sherlyn went for her checkup, and Samiru agrees. Then Shrishti thinks that she would ask questions from Dr. Roshni, so then Samiru would also know the truth. In Mahesh's room, Krithika explains that since childhood, everyone used to say that Raki seemed more like her mother, even when Karina lived with them, and Raki used to care for her all the time, and Mahesh is her uncle, but he has always been there as a father, so she wants her father to be present in each and every ritual. Mahesh stands up and says to Krithika that Krithika doesn't have to request, and Mahesh even asks Raki that they should go, and Raki comes to Krithika and says that she is looking lovely. Krithika was with Rishabh and Karan says that Krithika has made a dialogue convincing both Raki and Mahesh, but what about them? Krithika replies that she loves both Rishabh and Karan and they are the best brothers. Karan says that Krithika would have gotten the idea from him, but Krithika replies that Karan always wants all the credit, but this is the idea of Pritha. And Krithika flashback to when Pritha came to meet her and advised her to go and talk with Mahesh and Raki because they were worried during the function, and Krithika should go and convince them. And the flashback ends, and Krithika says that it is proof that Pritha is always right. Rishabh replies that he was saying it from the beginning that Pritha cannot be wrong. Karina asks Pritha to bring Krithika, and they also ask about Mahesh and Raki, and suddenly, the family were happy to see Raki and everyone else coming with Krithika, and Krithika sits at the wedding altar while Prithvi was already sitting there. Sala asks Janki that where is Shrishti, and Sala asks Janki to even call Shrishti. At the hospital, Shrishti quickly walks towards the reception, asking about Dr. Roshni, and Samir asks the receptionist if there is someone else available because Shrishti has a stomach ache. Shrishti says that she would wait for Dr. Roshni, and the receptionist asks Shrishti to clarify it because Dr. Roshni is a maternity doctor. Shrishti acted as if she is feeling odd, and she sat on the wheelchair, and she got a call, and Samir takes the phone and it was Janki. Janki asks that where is Shrishti, and Samir says that they were at the hospital because Shrishti is pregnant. The wedding has started, and the priest asks both Prithvi and Krithika to place the garland on each other. Mahira comes to the house, and Sherlyn, seeing Mahira, takes Mahira to a room, and Karina also sees them, and even Prithvi's mother saw them, and they both go after them. Shrishti asks that who was calling, and Samir replies that it was Janki, and Samir asks that who is Shrishti's boyfriend, but Shrishti doesn't answer, and Shrishti leaves after seeing Dr. Roshni. Samir once again asks Shrishti about the father of her child, but Shrishti mentioned Prithvi's name and Samir was shocked, and Shrishti quickly asks Samir to come with her because they don't have much time, and Shrishti pulls Samir. Sala asks if Janki has contacted Shrishti and where is she, and Janki was about to reveal the truth that Shrishti is at the hospital, but Janki quickly replies that Shrishti is outside and she is coming inside soon. Sherlyn pushes Mahira into a room asking that what is Mahira doing there, and Mahira tried to murder her child. Mahira replies that Sherlyn ruined her life, so she came back to ruin Sherlyn's life. Sherlyn explains that she still has the letter that Mahira wrote when she tried to act as if she will perform the suicide because she knew girls like her can give their lives and also take them. Mahira pushes Sherlyn and Sherlyn falls on the bed, and Mahira was able to put her phone under the mat after setting the phone for recording, and Sherlyn stands there holding knife to kill Mahira, and Prithvi's mother opens the door. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, like this video, share it, and please comment. And I'll see you all again in my next video. Bye guys.